Welcome back. Hey, first of all, I owe everyone an apology. A.B. Whitfield did play in the NFL. He played for the Dallas Cowboys. He played for the Denver Broncos and he played for the New Orleans Saints, but he did not play in the Super Bowl, so I owe you guys an apology. But he does have an NFL alumni ring. But welcome, A.B. Whitfield.
Thank you so much.
Man, it's been a long time.
Yeah, man, I'm getting old, man.
Yeah, you're getting better, man. You were just honored last night, right,
yes.
at the NYC New York City Athletic Club.
Right. Wonderful affair, man. We raised money for some wonderful boys and girls, and we had the honor of having O.J. Anderson, Super Bowl MVP, wonderful spirit, and the great Earl of Pearl Monroe, who came out in a horrible weather, not feeling well, because he had operations on his knees, but he's a trooper, man. We raised a lot of money for some beautiful boys and girls.
Right, and you just celebrated your 30th anniversary of the Trey Whitfield Foundation School.
Yeah.
Tell us about your school also.
Well, the school was started, from a need to have a better school in East New York and the Brownsville area. I work, of course, off season when I played with the Board of Ed. So when I retired, we just continued that and had an opportunity to open up a school in East New York, not run out of the neighborhood, but stay there and make a difference. And we've been blessed with a great faculty, great staff, and the vision of Janie Whitney, who really had the idea and the concept, and I came on board to help. But we've been fortunate enough to have 30 years of great success. For instance, Michael, our boys and girls, our pre-K and our kindergartners read before they go to first grade. Oh. That's historically not done in this country, but we've been doing it for 30 years. Virtually 90%, I would say, of our pre-K kids read and write before they go to kindergarten.
So statistically speaking, your grades and your level of expectations and learning for your students is high.
We have high expectations.
To the rest of the city, of the state.
Oh yeah, and we need to develop the attitude with our children. Our kids have to be twice as good. So if you don't start them at an early age, at pre-K, they won't be able to compete.
All right. This week, Super Bowl. Man, can you ever imagine that the Super Bowl would be this big? And also, would you imagine that the Super Bowl would be held here in New York City?
No, because the word was after the Ice Bowl, you would never play in that kind of climate again. Horrendous, man. My roommate suffers from it right now, Jethro Pugh. He suffers right now from the injuries and stuff like that. And it's just amazing that they would even think about it. But, it's money involved, you know that.
Right, and they should have built a dome, right?
Yes.
Right. Everyone's in town. I know you've seen a lot of your old buddies that you played with.
Yeah, well, Hollywood Henderson and Tutor Jones, the guys, they're younger and richer. But, of course, my friend Jethro, my roommate, he's in Dallas. He's with injuries, from all those years playing right now, so he's not able to come. But there's a lot of guys in town. There's a lot of the old timers. Jim Brown, I'm going to a dinner to honor him.
Speaking of
tomorrow.
Jim Brown, we have a picture also of Jim Brown, right? You've taken some pictures. We go to some of these pictures right here. And we have a picture of you with Jim Brown and also Dr. Roscoe Brown, right?
Great mentor, great educator. We had the privilege of honoring Jim and Roscoe at our foundation at one of our events. And just two remarkable men. Jim has been a mentor for so many players, especially myself. And even after the game, just getting guys on the right course, being independent of begging and he
was truly a revolutionary as far as during the civil rights era and also during and just in football in general because he stood up when other athletes would not stand up. It was him and Muhammad Ali.
He is the man still in NFL, a quiet fighter. Is going to Washington, D.C. in behalf of these players. What he's really trying to do, I think, is get these young guys to buy into that we got to support each other.
Correct.
Don't be as selfish. For instance, you got some of the older guys right now, 65, 70 years old. If they don't get relief and money for these injuries and these hospital expenses, they'll be gone.
They're still discussing that $750 million. It should be at least $2 or $3 billion, right?
At least. Listen, you got almost 20,000 players. When you divide it up, that's not a lot of money. You know what I mean?
Let's talk about this other picture too. You right here. You're in your Dallas Cowboys uniform. What year was that?
That's 1967.
Okay.
I was a rookie, free agent signing.
Just out of Elizabeth City State?
No, actually, I'd been out 2 years. I was ducking the draft. I was in Canada playing for 2 years.
Okay.
CFL up in Canada.
Montreal Alouettes, right?
That's right. The selected service found out where I was and said, "Son, come on back home."
Right.
And I was lucky because when I went to take the physical, I had just been injured. So when I came down, the legs ends up there around Thanksgiving. I came for my physical, and the guy said, "Hey, I'm sorry, I got bad news for you." So I'm thinking, well, I'm going maybe tomorrow to Vietnam. The guy said, I said, "So what is it? What do you want to tell me?" He said, "You can't go." I said, "What do you mean?" "We can't take you because you're injured. We don't take injured players." I said, "So what does that mean?" He said, "You go in at as an injured player, as an
Injured soldier.
injured soldier. So we can't accept you." I said, "Wow."
So during that era, there was all types of loopholes, flat feet, bad eyesight, all that, right?
Oh, yeah.
I remember the flat feet thing.
Yeah.
All right. And you also, there's another picture of you there with the great Jim Brown.
Yeah, Jim is a strong supporter of our school. He's flown overnight red eyes, come in for functions that we can raise money. He's helped us to raise hundreds of thousands. And just a beautiful person, man.
Good. And we also have a tragic figure in a way as you and Mr. Schenkel. That's
Yes.
you, and that's O.J. Simpson.
Chris, myself,
Schenkel,
and OJ. I worked with OJ when OJ was with Hertz, and I was a photographer for them, and just a wonderful spirit.
And this was during the height of during the Hertz commercials. He was playing for the Bills, breaking that record to 2000.
That was my all-season job with the camera, taking pictures for the NBA, everybody.
You also sparred with Muhammad Ali, right?
Oh,
during
yeah.
that era.
I actually trained it down in Deer Lake with him, and I've been so fortunate to know all these people, man.
Football today. What do you think of the game today? And as far as I know, it's changed a lot.
Yeah, you got some terrific.
Some for the better, some for the worse,
Yeah.
and also the case with Richard Sherman. Let's talk about that.
Well, the guys want to be seen a lot of times. Sometimes, going back to the interview with Erin, she has to understand that the game was just over. Guys are into the game. The energy is flowing right now. It's really a bad time to interview a guy, actually.
Right.
I'm telling you. You remember the interview with Joe Namath on the sideline? He had some drinks. I mean, why would a reporter?
But you know what?
microphone
I blame the producers in a way.
Absolutely.
Because the producers were looking to make a score, to get their ratings up, and they
Sure.
said, find Richard Sherman.
Yes.
And they found him, the news adrenaline was up.
Yeah.
It's almost similar to when Muhammad Ali fought Liston, how he was going around
Exactly,
the ring. Remember, he said, I'm the greatest, I'm the prettiest, I did it
Yes,
all.
yes.
Right. Hollywood Henderson.
Sweetheart, one of the most talented linebackers ever to play the game. I'm telling you, speed.
Right.
Could tackle, could run back, kicks, everything. He's coming to town now with his best friend, Too Tall Jones, and I'll see them later on. Yeah,
Right.
But I love him. Yeah, I actually took this picture down in Miami at the Super Bowl, and I entitled that picture. I'm tired, I'm good, I'm Hollywood.
Hollywood Henderson, there's only one. So what are the plans right now? I know the Super Bowl week, are you going to meet?
Well, Pam and my son, they're in town, and Fox is doing the game, so I'll have a chance to get with Harry Long in that group.
Okay.
Mike Strahan.
Thanks for coming. You're always
Thanks for
welcome here,
having me.
AB. All right.
Thanks for having me,
And
okay.
that is a NFL alumni ring, not a Super Bowl ring.
very
All right, made a
proud.
correction.